Freaked presents Serial Killers Episode 2. Harold Shipman. Does that name not ring a bell? Well, what about Dr. Death? That name might sound cartoony to you, but trust me, his actions were quite the opposite. You see, Harold Frederick Shipman, who was born on the 14th of January 1946, was actually an English practitioner. Maybe it was because of his job that he got away with it for so long. After all, he is one of the most prolific killers in recorded history, and that is saying something, since he's right beside the likes of the Monster of the Andes and the Beast. His family. If we didn't know his true nature and crimes, we would think he's just an ordinary family man. Because believe it or not, he had a loving wife and 4 children, who were completely unaware of how many lives he had taken. An interesting thing to note here is that his mother died of lung cancer when he was a teenager. He saw his mother's excruciating pain subside because of all the morphine, and she died on the 21st of June, 1963. That isn't enough to explain his later actions. However, it was quite similar to how he later killed his victims. His eventual detection. It took the police investigators quite a long time to eventually catch him. His method of killing was usually dosing the patient with enough morphine and then falsifying the medical records to make it seem like the patients had bad health. He only got caught because he tried to forge a will of a victim that left him with 386,000 euros, excluding the victim's actual family. That raised alarms with the victim's daughter, so she reported him to the police. Kathleen Grundy's body, who was his last victim, was exhumed, and investigators found lethal dosages of diamorphine in her body. Many people believe that he actually wanted to get caught. That is why he tried to forge a will. Or maybe he wanted to retire from all the killing and settle down with a tidy sum of money. Harold Shipman's trial. His trial started on the 5th of October 1999, and he was charged with the murders of Marie West, Irene Turner, Lizzie Adams, Jean Lilly, Ivy Lomas, Muriel Grimshaw, Mary Quinn, Kathleen Wagstaff, Bianca Pomfret, Nora Nuttall, Pamela Hillier, Maureen Ward, Winifred Meller, Joan Melia, and Kathleen Grundy, with lethal dosages of diamorphine. After only 6 days, he was sentenced to life in prison with no hope of ever getting out, and 10 days after his sentence, his name was struck off from the medical register. Shipman never actually gave a statement regarding his actions. He would always deny his guilt, even after a mountain of evidence had been put against him. His wife Primrose always believed in his innocence, even after he had been sentenced to life in prison. Interestingly enough, he is the only British doctor in recorded history who was found guilty of murdering his patients. Because of this, many of the flaws in British law were remedied. Harold Shipman's death. His death brought about many celebrations and many tears, since he hanged himself from the bars of his prison. Many people were relieved to hear this news, while some thought it was too easy of a way out for him and blamed the security of the prison. Furthermore, the reason behind his suicide was that he wanted his wife to get $100,000 in pensions. She would no longer be able to get it if he was over the age of 60, so he ended his life 2 days before his 58th birthday. The one thing that nobody was ever able to figure out was his motive. Some people believe that he liked to control death and was afraid of death himself. But he never made a statement himself, so we don't know for sure. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook for more.